Hey, it's me, Doston, and in this video I wanted to talk about budgeting because I think budgeting is really important if you're trying to save money and make money. Because if you consider that if you make, for example, $500 a month and then you spend $300, you left with 200, right? And if you make $2,000 a month and you spent 1,800, so you also left with $200. So it really makes sense how much you left after your payment, and it's very important to budget. And in this video I wanted to show you how you can start budgeting and what apps you can use, what technology you can use to save up and then reinvest to something else. If you want to start your own business, if you want to travel, you can do anything you want, and in this video we're going to talk about that. I really want you to focus and really want to think budgeting as in like you're an athlete. Think like you're an athlete, because athletes need to track. They need to track their time, they need to track their health and everything related to their body and time, because if they don't do that, like how they gonna be in Olympics, right? How they gonna win medals, how they gonna be healthy? So that's why you need to stay consistent, and you need to track, and you need to know how you spend and how much you earn. And first of all, I want you to fill up how much you make. It's hard sometimes because you feel like, I earn so much money, but I spend the same amount. And for budgeting, you need to first put everything you make, and then next one, you need to check where you spent your money. And if you don't use some things, and if you don't really see the investment, and if you don't really see this money goes to the right place, you need to get rid of those things, because sometimes we don't really track our spending, we just forget about that, right? And we just see how much we make and how much we spend, but what about details? If you don't put those details, you will be in a trouble. But of course, if we see some things that we don't use and we don't really need, it's important, but I don't want you to go overboard and go crazy and save up too much money on food and don't eat anything for a few weeks or something. Of course, you need to take care of your health first of all, right? But see some things maybe you don't really use. Maybe you don't really need Spotify premium, even though it's just $10 or I don't know, less than that. But let's say Netflix is 10 and then it adds up, and then you have $100 a month. It will be quite expensive, right? So that's why get rid of things that you don't really use and you don't really need. But don't be too negative. Yeah, of course, if you have a minus and negative, it will be quite harsh, but still you can still get out of this problem. And it's not really a problem, but at least first thing is done. You see the problem, and now we can take care of that, right, together. But let's do something fun, and this is our second principle is we can use apps. Of course, you can use anything you want, but apps like Notion, for example, I use it a lot, and of course you can use Google, or you can use Excel spreadsheets, but I prefer apps, and here I have my finance tracker. We will go right now to that. As you can see, here I made my table, and here you can see date, tax, account that I put in. Let's say I have three bank accounts, for personal, for let's say PayPal, and for my business. And let's say we just go to our sheet, and I'm gonna get something for my business. I'm gonna use it for my business, or you can choose an option, or personal or something. It's for business. And then for my PayPal, I'm gonna use PayPal. It's bank number 3, and I'm gonna spend 2,000 yen, which is $20. And a date, we can choose a date. And if I need any files attached, I can choose that as well. But we're not gonna put anything. And then company name, we can put something. Okay, and then it's our spending. And here we can put some information about how much we spend, and we already know. And if you need to write something here for, I don't know, some side project or something like that. Here we have information about that, and all additional information about our spending. And here you can write down, and then you can see how much you actually spend and everything. So it's really fun to do those things, and you can see how much you spend and how much you make. Everything here you can count, and you can measure everything, all information here. And it's actually fun to do sometimes, you know. If you put those information, you will be first of all kind of scared to see that, but it's really important for you to see this information and to have an idea like where your money goes and how much you actually make and how much you actually spend. The last thing I want to focus is third option is punishments. Of course, if you don't really follow those rules, it will be how we say in Japanese is mottainai, basically in vain. So you made all of those things, but you don't really put. So maybe you need to go to the next stage, which is punishment. And if you don't really follow those things, probably you need to punish yourself. But you know, sometimes it can be quite negative that, and you don't really take this L. So maybe you can have like a competition with your friend or with someone. So maybe both of you in the beginning of the year can actually put this on paper or put this somewhere and make a plan together. And you know, if someone will go overboard out of the budget or something, who won't follow all of those rules, probably will be punished. Yeah, it can be financially or something, but when we feel this, you know, people are creatures where really don't want to feel pain. So that's why it's also pain. So in order to avoid that, we will try harder. We will try not to lose those things, because in the end of the year you can see who is gonna win, and you can be competitive and try harder. So that's why. But it's not for everybody, of course, but it can be quite interesting if you want to focus on your goals first of all, right? Because in the beginning it will be quite hard to see some results, but then you will notice that if you don't have a debt, if you have some money to invest into your new business, or you can finally go somewhere, a family trip or something, it will be quite rewarding for you. And I hope those tips were useful. Of course, I will leave Notion template, and Notion is actually a free app, and you can use as a student. You can even get a free version where you can use unlimited blocks which they call them, but it's basically free. I will include the template which you can use for your budgeting, but it's really simple, and you can start making your own financial sheet, and it doesn't matter where. So I hope you like this video. If you have any other tips or budgeting plans that you have, please write them down below in the comments. I will be happy to see them and interact with you in the comments. Watch other videos about making money and saving, investing money, and I hope to see you in the further videos. See you next time. Bye bye.